share hearts for the peaceful harmony in all races and religions in our country and our world. And my most respectfully, first of all, invite Honorable Whitfield and Honorable the best of the country. To bless the event.
Let us pray. God, our Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us together to this inauguration ceremony of the Metta Convention of the year 2014. As the theme is chosen for this convention, we want you, Father, to bless each and every one present here and all those who will be participating in this Metta Convention. As our Lord Jesus taught, love one another, the true understanding of loving kindness reigning in their hearts and in their actions. Lord, we in the world today are in need so much to have our hearts healed, to understand one another, to respect one another, to help one another, so that our world will be a world of loving kindness. As we are challenged to respect one another with whatever convention is making a true effort to bring about the healing of the heart and the growth We want you to bless the organizers of the Sri Lanka Sarvodaya movement and the Aloka Foundation. Give all of us the blessings we need so that this convention will bring about that true healing of hearts. As we pray through Christ our Lord. Let us pray the prayer that Jesus himself taught us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, the Lord be with you. May Almighty God bless you, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Our sincere gratitude to His Lordship. I now most respectfully invite Swami Swarupananda to bless the Metta Convention.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Jeshtarajam Brahmanan Brahmanaspadaana Shrunvannodibhi Srida Sadhanam. Om Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Punaktu Sahaveryam Karavavati Om Shanti 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 Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. My love and salutations to all the religious leaders, and my love and best wishes to all the others, their sisters and brothers who are assembled here. May the Lord protect us all, nourish us all, and work together with great energy. May our aim be vigorous and fruitful, and the love and harmony dwell amongst us all forever. But the grace of the Lord always come and be our prayers, come and be our minds, and be united in our thoughts, come and be in our councils, and be united in our assemblies, come and be in our accords, and be united in our hearts, come and be in our aims, and be in one mind in our all deliberations. May the Lord, who dispenses all our happiness and sorrow, shower His choicest blessing on the success of the convention and on all of us, so that we live together in peace, happiness, and prosperity. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.
Our sincere gratitude to Swami Swarupananda. I now most respectfully invite Dr. Imran M. Shukri to bless the Metta Convention.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. I pray Almighty Allah, the Lord of the world, to bless this international seminar on Metta, love and kindness, for which humanity is yearning today. To spreading the message of peace, promoting the noble values like mercy and compassion, is a sacred mission that would help us to create a better world free from violence and bloodshed. The world based on the principle of human brotherhood. Islam attaches importance to the concept of Metta, which is known in the Quranic term Rahmah, mercy. One of the attributes of God is Rahman, the merciful, and Rahim, the compassionate. Mercy and compassion are ingrained in the message of Islam. It's a universal message.
Our sincere gratitude to Dr. Shukri, the international sponsor of the Metta Convention. The Metta Around the World program was a concept that was born within the compassionate heart of Sri Lanka. It started as a desire to meet the challenges of violence and hatred that is escalating in the world today. To meet this challenge, we are now choose to cultivate with all national level and strong compassionate hearts to form a great force of our own. With these beautiful thoughts was born the Metta Convention. Now, to deliver the welcome address, I kindly invite Dr. A.T. Aryaratne, the founder and the president of Sarvona Shramadana movement, the local organizer of the Metta Convention 2014.
Most respected members of the Mahasangha, Bhikkhunis, all religious dignitaries of all other religions, all my dear friends who have come all the way from quite a number of countries, dear brothers and sisters from all parts of Sri Lanka. We invited the leaders of all political parties to come as our guest of honor. We are very happy to see that Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe, the Leader of the Opposition and several other members of Parliament are present here. In a moment, Honorable Prime Minister, representing His Excellency the President, who is out of the country at the moment, will be here with us. I welcome all of them with great respect. For the last 56 years, Sarvodaya has been treading a path of non-violence, avoiding any form of confrontation, but trying to bring about the thinking of how the people look at themselves and the world, and how they lead day-to-day lives, and how they get organized to live and enjoy peace. In that long journey, which is very difficult, there have been times which have been very difficult for all of us, for governments, for organizations, for people as a whole. Though it so happens that this convention is held at a time when everything is not so good as far as national unity and peace are concerned, still we didn't plan it that way. This great idea of global peace through Metta was born in the mind of Venerable Bhante Mahinda of Malaysia. He was here in Sri Lanka studying, and I met him for the first time 36 years ago. After his studies in Theravada Buddhism, Mahayana Buddhism and Vajrayana Buddhism, he was in the forests of Sri Lanka, Burma, China, India, Himalayas, all over the world, in America, South America. And as a Buddhist monk, he had spent more time away from civilization than among us the human beings. So he thought he should have Metta circles around the world, and he initiated this whole program. Last year I happened to be invited for the first Metta convention. Then he said we will have the second one in Sri Lanka. So Dr. Jarika Marasingan, who was with me, said, okay Bhante, we will organize it. And in the organization of this conference, Jarika and her young colleagues worked day and night for so many months. We had no funding. We had nobody to give the money. They had to find everything. And they did it very silently, and at last it has become a reality. So what we start today will be continued tomorrow and day after, then for 5-6 days, and on the 5th of July at 9:45 to 10:15 around the world, starting from Malaysia, under the leadership of Venerable Bhante. Yes, Amarakirti, Honorable Amarakirti Nayakatero. I think we will get several million people in the world to observe just half an hour of Metta. So when I came back, we were very blessed with Venerable Kirama Hamduro, and so many members of the clergy joining Venerable Jyoti and Kotapalla Amarakirti, led by them, Professor Chandra Kundania and Mrs. Preminia Kundania of Bharata Foundation, then the Postmaster General, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Immigration Directors, everybody in the government departments, to whomever that Tarika and these young people went, they obliged and gave us all the support. So I welcome all of them. I'm not going to welcome all our international guests who number over 200, but I would only say that the speakers who have come here on their own as a mission of love are not ordinary people. They are very extraordinary world leaders. From America, we have Dr. Beckwith, Michael Beckwith, who founded the Agape. We have James Doty, neurosurgeon. We have from India 3 ladies who have changed the entire thinking of the Indian people. Vandana Shiva, Dr. Vandana Shiva is here. Dr. Kiran Devi is here, Dr. Mrs. Krishnan is here. Three people who have taken three issues in India and then made public opinion. So all of them will be introduced among others a little while later. So I welcome all of you, dear brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, who are present here. Let us make this world the world free from hatred. As that Maulavi said, even in Islam, respect for all life is advocated. And the very foundation of Buddhism is respect for all life. So we, the Buddhists, Hindus, Christians, and Muslims, and other religious faiths should get together, transcend all political, racial, communal, and other barriers, and make use of the available modern technology and science, combine it with ancient spiritual values, and build a new world. Each one of us can contribute to build that new world with a little bit of metta, little bit of loving kindness in our hearts at all times. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kiran, for those beautiful words. For us Sri Lankans, if there is anyone who can awaken our minds through music, it will have to be the maestro himself. It is unlikely that his name would be unfamiliar even to most of the international participants in this audience today. To sing the simple translation by Mahagama Sekara of the famous piece by the great Bengali poet and savant Rabindranath Tagore, please welcome on stage to sing Patu Adahas, Pandit W.K. Amaradev. Thank you, Pandit Amardev. That was an absolute pleasure. Now, it is time to have a quick recap of the previous programs and the year-long efforts of Metta around the world to bring like-minded people together through Metta circles. It is time for one of the many highlights of this evening. Introducing to you our distinguished panel of world-renowned speakers of this weekend's convention. Each and everyone who is attending the Metta convention complete free of charge, showing their commitment and support towards promoting the message of the Metta convention. The next few minutes will give you a glimpse of who they are and why they are especially a part of the Metta convention.
Reverend Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith. Reverend Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, founder, Agape International Spiritual Center. Reverend Dr. Beckwith began his inward journey into the teachings of East and West way back in the 70s. Today, he teaches universal truth principles found in the myth of ancient wisdom tradition of spirituality. In 1986, he founded the Agape International Spiritual Center, inspired by his faith in that original vision. Agape's outreach programs feed the homeless, serve needy individuals, and globally build and support schools, libraries, orphanages, hospitals, clinics, homes for unwed mothers, provide microloans and financial support during natural disasters and human advocacy. In a personal letter to him, the widow of Martin Luther King Jr., Corota Scott King wrote, I greatly admire what you are doing to bring about the beloved community, which is certainly what my dear husband worked for and ultimately gave his life. Dr. Michael Beckett.
Peace and riches blessings to all of you. It's my joy and honor to be here. And I have 1 minute to share just a little bit about what brings me here. As the founder and spiritual director of the Agape International Spiritual Center, we're in our 28th year. And it was the late Dr. Howard Thurman that said that it is impossible to love humanity in general. You can only love humanity in particular. To love humanity in general was an abstract concept. You have to learn how to love the being right next to you, the beings that you run into on the street. And so Agape was founded that all beings, regardless of race and religious background, ethnicity, would come together and under the practicing of universal spiritual principles, do great works in the world, do internal contemplation and meditation, so that they could be free enough and spacious enough inside to make a mighty difference on the planet at this time in human history and beyond. So loving kindness, compassion, and metta, unconditional love, which is the meaning of agape, has formed a community that is now worldwide, and we seek to be a shining example of all people living together, working together, meditating together, praying together, and anchoring the beloved community on earth, as it is in the mind of the universal presence, by whatever name you choose to call it. Peace and blessings.
Dr. James Lowe, neurosurgeon, entrepreneur, and philanthropist. Dr. James Doty is a professor of neurosurgery at Stanford University School of Medicine and the founder and director of the Center for Compassion and Altruism Research and Education at Stanford University. Dr. Doty collaborates with scientists from a number of disciplines examining the natural basis of compassion and altruism. Dr. Doty's life story is illustrative of what it means to live a truly compassionate and selfless life. After growing up in poverty and working hard to become a doctor, he became financially successful in the dot-com era. However, being an embodiment of dana or giving, he committed himself to donating much of his wealth to the school that gave him his education. He continues to support a variety of research initiatives and has provided scholarships to many. The trust fund he set up eventually earned $37 million, none of which he kept for himself. He supports a number of charitable organizations focused on peace and healthcare throughout the world. Dr. James Lowe. කට්ටිය ඉන්නවා වැඩි පොඩ්ඩක් අස්සට ගන්න.
It's indeed an honor to be with you today. I am a neurosurgeon, physician, and a neuroscientist. But what I know is that there will not be peace in this world until there is peace in our hearts. The ills of the world are not due to external causes. They are due to wounds of the heart. And until science and technology focuses its tools in this area, there will not be peace. What we do know, though, is that science has given us wonderful tools to examine how our brain functions and to make us realize that, in fact, as humans, we are meant to love and to care. And it is that area which I am focused on in my work, and it's that area that when we are able to give individuals tools such as loving kindness, meditation, the ability to turn inward and understand what our motivations are, and realize that we are all part of one. It is that time when we will have peace, and it is that time when we will recognize that we are all one within this world. It is indeed an honor to be with you. Thank you.
Dr. Kiran Bedi, social activist and former Indian police Dr. Kiran Bedi was born in Amritsar, Punjab, India. She began her career as a lecturer. During her tenure as the Inspector General of Prisons in Tihar Jail, Delhi, she instituted a number of reforms in the management of the prisons, including the practice of Vipassana meditation, for which she won the Ramon Magsaysay Award for Public Service in 1994. Dr. Kiran Bedi, along with other police officers, set up the India Foundation in 1987 for welfare and preventive policing. She established India Vision Foundation, which works in the police reforms, prison reforms, women's empowerment, and rural and community development. Of veteran Gandhian Anna Hazare. With millions of supporters joining the movement from every corner of India, Dr. Bedi and the team Anna proved to the world that active non-violence is the way out in bringing down power and party political structures. Dr. Kiran Bedi.
very very touching, very healing. I want to thank Ratna and his entire family and the Sarvadya Murthy for having remembered me to come here. Ago, 1972, when I joined the Indian Police Service. For me, policing did not stand out to punish. It stood for the power to prevent, power to correct, and power to do the right things. That's how I felt, and that's what brought me to the Indian Police Service. I did not know that I was going to be the first woman in India to join the officer ranks. But I loved the service because for me it stood for sense of justice. And that's what actually took this forward. When I started to train the policemen or policewomen, I realized how stressed they were. How do I make them sensitive? Because in meditation or Metta to my police training colleges, they started to change. And they changed for the better. And one of the dialogue is in the feedback, they said, we always thought we were Mr. Right. And now we learn to keep right, stay right, after they did the Vipassana meditation programs. Similarly, as Inspector General of Prisons, when I ran one of the Asia's largest prisons, I happened to visit Sri Lankan prisons as well many years ago. And I reached out to this program for this Vipassana program to over 1,000 prisoners. It's a film today, doing Vipassana. If you want to see it, it's going all to the courts to confess their guilt. Because inside them, they wanted to offload the guilt to admit that they did make revengeful. They wanted to be true to themselves. Very much.
From her young age, passion for social work. A survivor of sexual assault, she broke silence surrounding the sex trafficking epidemic and boldly stepped out to stop women involved in the commercial sex trade. In 1990, Dr. Sunitha Krishnan co-founded Prajwala, or Eternal Flame, an institution that assists trafficked women and girls finding shelter and regaining their life. Today, Prajwala runs 17 schools throughout Hyderabad, and the education programs entered over 7,000 children of women in prostitution from being inducted into flesh trade. Prajwala has rescued more than 1,500 women from prostitution, over 5,000 of whom Krishnan personally liberated and rehabilitated successfully, reintegrating into society. She has won many local and international awards, which include Inauguration Person of the Year, Global Leadership Award, Living Legends Award, and Stree Shakti Puraskar from the Government of India in the year 2008. She also been recognized as one of the 150 fearless
was subjected to sexual slavery and sexual violence. Children as young as 4 and 5 years old, whose bodies are sold. What they can do to work, it is what we can do for them. Metta to me personifies the beginning, the journey, and the end to open our hearts with compassion, our hearts with empathy, to bring in the most excluded of these women and children back to us, to include them as one among us. Thank you.
Dr. Vandana Shiva, physicist, environmental activist, and anti-globalization author. Dr. Vandana Shiva was born in the Valley Dehradun to a father who was a conservator of forest and a farmer mother with a love for nature. She received her PhD in philosophy from the University of Western Ontario. In 1982, she founded Research Foundation for Science, Technology and Ecology, which led to the creation of Navanya in 1991. For the
Thank you so much to the Metta family for bringing us all together. For the last 40 years, my life has been dedicated for Metta, for all her beings. for the rivers and the trees. It started with this beautiful movement, or chipko, which means to raise. What could be a more powerful symbol, a metaphor for the earth, than saying, we will hug the trees, you will have to kill us before you kill a tree. From chipko, I learned my ecological activism while I did a PhD in quantum theory from the University of Western Ontario. They are the creators, inventors, and owners of seed. The Gitanjali that was sung so beautifully for us had a line, where knowledge is tree, of eating, of growing food. The Lord's Prayer, recited by the representative of the Christian Church, has a line, give us this day our daily bread. We could very rapidly reach a situation. If we don't spread metta and loving kindness, and with it, the spirit of freedom for all life on earth, that prayer could become a handful of corporations. In fact, a judge at the Supreme Court asked me, Dr. Shiva, are you telling us patenting? They control the seed, and we will have to say the prayer to these things. I take joy in continuing to celebrate the gifts and abundance of nature. Because the more we work with the earth, the more we give living kindness to the soil and the seed, the more she gives to us. There is no place for poisons, for genetically engineered organisms, or seed patterns in a beautiful world based on compassion.
Dr. Veena Ayala, humanitarian and community medicine specialist. Having been born to Dr. A.T. and Metta Ayala, two prominent Sri Lankan social activists, Veena received his first lessons in humanitarian service while he was still in his mother's womb. After a brief spell with the government, his father, on voluntary capacity, today he serves as the movement's adopting a community-based non-medical approach to the psychosocial effects amongst youths to recover from the trauma of war. Dr. Veena Shantidas.
venerable sirs, members of the clergy representing Hindu, Islam, and Christian traditions, Honorable Prime Minister, distinguished guests, brothers and sisters, and humble by the recognition given by the Foundation and the Sarvodaya organizers for me to speak as a humanitarian and also as a person who have been trained as a physician to heal individuals who are sick. But the last 20 years I have traversed a journey with my colleagues who are represented here from all parts of Sri Lanka, three generations of Sarvodaya leaders who have been trying to build peace and harmony on one hand in this island and also to alleviate poverty. But also the experience of the Sarvodaya movement. During the last 55 years, we have tried to adopt a holistic approach to development. We try to awaken ourselves based on the concept of Metta or loving kindness. It can be translated into action in various forms of the movement, and then we try to derive joy out of it and also try to maintain a mental balance when we praise from what we were doing and also we were challenged by various obstacles placed on us on our journey. More than 25 years we destroyed our lives, livelihoods, as well as property. So today we are starting a new journey of healing.
Bhante Vimala, spiritual leader and humanitarian. A compassionate spiritual teacher and a humanitarian, Bhante Vimala has been a Buddhist monk for 36 years. Since 1986, Bhante Vimala has been the chairperson and spiritual director of the Triple J Buddhist Society, the Center for Conscious Evolution in Princeton, New Jersey, USA. Tremendous concern is suffering takes in worldwide to any place where nature lives of people, regardless of their caste, creed, color, or religion. In the introduction to Bhante's book, The Essence of the Lotus, His Holiness the Dalai Lama writes, Bhante Vimala's heartfelt concern for the suffering and the simple remedies he flow from will be a source of strength for everyone confused by
suffering. When a disaster strikes, a war erupts, often hundreds of thousands, even millions of people become innocent victims. In many such occasions, I have seen their tears, I have heard their cries, I have shared their pain. Past 20 years, I have traveled to many countries, in many parts of the world, with a slide presentation and a video presentation. I will share my message. I will take you on a journey and revisit some of those personal experiences and amazing moments. I believe compassion and metta alone is not enough. We need to act. Hence, I call my humanitarian projects or relief work metta in action or compassion in action. Compassion knows no religious, ethnic, or political boundaries. Compassion knows the nature of human suffering and motivates us to act. I hope and I know my message and the presentation will prove that to be true. I would like to invite all of you. May you be well and happy. Thank you.
Mrs. Jessima Ismail, educator and social activist. Deshabandhu Mrs. Jessima Ismail is an exemplary character who created revolutionary changes in the education sector of Muslim women in the East where she was born. Born to a broad and liberal-minded family from Ampara district in Sri Lanka, Mrs. Ismail's father admitted her to St. Richard's Convent, Colombo, to expose her to other religions and their values. After graduating from the University of Peradeniya, she joined the staff of Devi Balika Mahavidyalaya. An outstanding educator and social activist, Mrs. Ismail worked with children, especially the Muslim girls, for 32 years as a teacher and a principal. Mrs. Ismail has won many awards in recognition of her contribution to education and her social welfare activities. To name a few: Deshabandhu Presidential Award for National Service, Lions Award Educationist of the Year, Zonta Woman of Achievement Award, Presidential Award for Education by Ministry of Women's Affairs, and the National Award of the Sarvodaya Trust Fund in 2009. She has also been recognized as one of the 500 most influential Muslim women in the world. Mrs. Jessima Ismail.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Why I always repeat Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, it is because it means mercifulness, mercy, and compassion. Distinguished guests, brothers, sisters, children, parents, I stand here with great humility to be able to join with all the distinguished leaders of the world. But I must say, I will preface whatever I want to say for this 1 minute with a personal comment. I was wondering whether I would be able to come today because in my context, there is bereavement. I just lost my son. When I came here for your healing, I felt I needed inner peace for this outer healing. And here I am with you. I must thank the Aryarata family, the Sarvodaya movement, for calling me. Sometimes I wonder whether I have anything to contribute at this special moment. But I am gaining a lot. When I sat through all what you said, there was a sense of healing. As a teacher, I would always start off with a simple story for understanding what a subject is about. There was this little mother and a little child who were walking along, and suddenly the little child saw a popcorn machine and he just wanted that popcorn. It was almost like an obsession. And he said he insisted on it, so the mother tried to get it out for him, but the machine wouldn't work. The child was crying. And the mother also said, I felt like crying. Because what I was thinking of is all the broken down machines in the men of the world and women of the world, filled with compassion, mercy, love, but which could not be taken because the machines were broken, and somehow, somewhere, something had gone wrong. And it is Metta, loving kindness, that is needed. Loving kindness radiating towards the whole world. Today, our country, Sri Lanka, is at a critical stage. We need to build our relationships. But how do we do it? Unless we radiate this loving kindness and compassion for all. And this is what is needed. I'm sorry I can't talk any further. Thank you very much for calling me. Tonight, I have to leave early because I have to receive an award on behalf of my son. So please excuse me and thank you for the peace and solace you have given me. Thank you.
Dr. A.T. Aryarata, founder of Sarvodaya Shramadana movement and social reformer. Born on November 5, 1931, Ahangama A.T. Aryarata launched his social service career at the age of 8. A former high school teacher at Nalanda College, Dr. Aryarata conducted the first Shramadana work camp in 1958. eventually leading it to become the largest civil society movement in the country. The central part of his social action agenda is non-violence. With over 6 decades of experience behind him, Dr. Ariyaratne has been throughout his life a person committed to peaceful social transformation. He has led an eventful life, facing numerous threats, yet never resorting to fight back except through metta towards all living beings. The 3 decades of conflict in Sri Lanka are studded with his landmark peace meditation campaigns and peace walks. 3-time nominee for prestigious Nobel Peace Prize, his lifelong activities in social transformation have been recognized both within the country and outside in the form of awards offered to him, including Raman Magsaysay Award, Kimbodo Award, Nibano Peace Prize, and Gandhi Peace Prize, to name a few. Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne.
Through the Metta spirit, let us heal all the wounds in our heart and build one family in the country and in the world. Let love prevail everywhere. Thank you.
Bhante Mahinda, spiritual leader, Metta Convention. Born in 1949 into a traditional Chinese family in Malacca, Malaysia, Bhante Mahinda studied biological science at Canterbury University, New Zealand, until his karmic journey on earth connected him with a kindred soul from Sri Lanka, who awakened his mind to the Buddha Dharma. Ordained as a monk under the tutelage of Dr. K. Sri Dhammanandanayaka Thero, he was trained in meditation by several well-known masters in Sri Lanka, India, Myanmar, and Thailand. He was also inspired by Mahayana masters from China, Taiwan, Korea, and Japan, as well as Vajrayana masters from Tibet, Nepal, Bhutan, and India. Bhante Mahinda has taught mindfulness and metta meditation for 30 years, and his participation in interreligious conferences and Dharma propagation has taken him to more than 30 countries today. Currently, Bhante Mahinda is the abbot of the Aloka Meditation Center in Australia. Bhante Mahinda is the founder of the Metta Around the World project to unite all peace-loving people throughout the world with one heart and mind in meditation and prayer for the world peace, harmony, and stability. Bhante Mahinda Thero.
members of the Sangha, religious leaders, Honorable Prime Minister, the opposition ministers, other distinguished guests, brothers and sisters in the Dharma. I actually have no words. It's beyond words to convey to you the gratitude for all what you have done just now. I thank Dr. Ari and the Sarvodaya movement for this marvelous opening. To all the panelists, I just have a wish that you all know the chaotic energies in this world today, the vast, the dramatic changes that are taking place. And in this convention that's now held in Sri Lanka, I would wish to make a personal appeal to all the good sons and daughters of Lanka here in this country and throughout the world to support this Metta, loving kindness to develop, to help us to develop a network of spiritual consciousness that will bring back just the common sense and wisdom to which these noble sons and daughters of Lanka, you have a very noble heritage in this sacred island of Lanka. I studied here. Today I come to appeal to all of you here and abroad to give your support. The world needs your help. Your country needs more love. We all need love. In times of war, we all see the worst of humanity. Now that we are living in times of peace, let us come together to bring forth the best of humanity. The best of humanity can only come from the heart of pure love and compassion. Thank you.
I'm sure you'll agree with me and say that this is a panel that will bring out goosebumps in any audience, in any part of the world. Please join me once again by giving a round of applause to the spirit and generosity of this exemplary personalities in creating this event.
invite Honorable Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, Mr. V.N. Jayarathne, who joined us a few moments ago, to share with us the message of Metta and the importance of promoting it in a country going through an important healing process after the end of a brutal civil war. Honorable Prime Minister, yours is the stage.
Since the last time I've seen him, he is lost very bit of it.
Demonstration, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Peace is very important for the people. In Sri Lanka, we are trying to have a peaceful country with all the people in the whole world. We must have peace. According to the new system, now people are not thinking about their own religion. Religion-wise, all the religions teach Metta, that in English is Maitri. But now, slowly, it is going out from the mind of the people. That's why everywhere there are fight in between the people in the country and so many other countries also. Therefore, we must think and must undergo all the people according to their own religion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Prime Minister. It is time for tonight's keynote speech on radiating Metta, love and respect for all life. To deliver the talk on this timely topic, let me invite Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith, a New Thought Minister and the founder of Agape International Spiritual Center, trans-denominational multicultural organization dedicated to honoring the dignity of all beings. Yours is the stage.
Peace and richest blessings once again, Honorable Prime Minister, and Etiara Rodney and Cherika for the invitation, Venerable Mahinda for catching this idea of the Metta Conference from the idea sphere. He made himself available to catch this idea for such a time as this in this country, and for such a time as this on our planet, where Metta, loving kindness, generosity of the heart, compassion, and unconditional love is so needed at this time. It is interesting to note that we have not come to use Metta to save the world. Indeed, we have come to activate Metta to serve an emerging paradigm. We are aware that the world is held together by synergetic conversations, and that become beliefs, that become perceptions, that ultimately become experience. And so Metta, the activation of Metta, the rising of compassion and unconditional love, is not to save the prevailing consciousness, not to save the prevailing world, not to save the prevailing way of thinking. We are here to embrace that which is seeking to emerge at this time. And that is the compassion and the love and the peace and the joy. So don't let anyone say that we're trying to save the world. No. We're trying to serve an emerging way of being on the planet that has something to do with peace, something to do with love, something to do with joy, something to do with harmony, something to do with compassion. We're keenly aware that we grow as a species in two ways: pain or insight. Pain or insight. And the world and this country has suffered from too much pain, and it is now time for us to grow through insight and revelation and being available to making ourselves available to the transcended awareness of a dynamic good that is seeking to express itself by means of us. And so we are here to activate Metta. We're here to radiate Metta. We're here to activate compassion. We're here to radiate compassion. And what is compassion? What is Metta? Sympathy asks the question, how do you feel? Empathy asks the question, our empathy says, I feel for you. But compassion asks a different question. Compassion says, how can I serve? Compassion invites a larger way of being in the world, not trying to sympathize with someone's feelings, but asks, how can I serve? It is the activation of a love, the love that is so high that it can embrace the lack of understanding in another individual. So we are here today to activate a deep sense of love and compassion and peace. And of course, peace is not the absence of conflict. Peace is a dynamic of harmonizing good, something that is radiating from us like love and joy and harmony. And so we're here not to save the world. We don't want to save the world in which the pain has caused a sense of separation, a sense of fear, doubt, worry, avarice, lack, limitation, scarcity, and not enoughness. We're here to serve the emerging paradigm of love and beauty and generosity. Serve an emerging paradigm of forgiveness, unconditional love, and total joy. And this does not come naturally. Though each of us are endowed with these qualities intrinsically, transformation is not a bystander sport. It means that we have to participate. We have to enter into a deep level of practice that yields insight, embodiment, ultimately a way of life. And so the hierarchy goes like this. You have a belief, we all believe in compassion. We all believe in love. We all believe in joy. We all believe in generosity. We all believe in forgiveness. Every religion teaches this, but we can't stop at merely believing. If we stop at merely believing, we will inculcate ourselves in a very small package of being radical believers, but that's not enough. Our belief must lead to a level of practice. And that practice must mean that we must meditate and contemplate these spiritual qualities until it births a level of action. Until compassion and love and generosity and forgiveness becomes how we live our life. And so belief is transmuted into practice. Practice makes us available to a radical insight or a revelation. And an insight is something that takes place in consciousness, in which in a moment we think not. In a moment where we're captured by a transcendent awareness of something we only believe, but now becomes a part of us. And then insight becomes embodied. We begin to live it, and then we birth a way of living. So we can't stop at being merely believers. And believing is just the baby steps of our religion. There has to be a practice that yields an insight, that yields an embodiment, that ultimately becomes a way of living. It means that we're here today to embrace a new paradigm as individuals who are consciously naive enough to absolutely feel that we can make a radical difference on the planet this time in human history. And we're coming to an awareness of the quantum statement that was subscribed to Jesus, where he says, I am lifted up, I draw unto me. We're saying in substance, as we activate these qualities within us and begin to live in them, as we're lifted up in this rarefied atmosphere of absolute truth, we draw an entire nation, an entire world into a higher frequency by the very vibration that we are emitting. And so we are here today saying in substance that when you believe more in what you can't see, the qualities of compassion and love and beauty and joy. We believe more in what we can't see than in what we can see. And sometimes that's the fear, the doubt, and the worry. Sometimes that's the hate and unforgiveness. Sometimes that's the war. When we believe more in what we can't see than in what we can see, then what we will see, here it is. When we believe what we can't see more than what we do see, then what we do see we won't see, and what we don't see we will see. We are hanging out in that kind of conscious naivete, firmly believing that we can make a mighty difference. And that this metta awareness, this consciousness of compassion, the highest form of love, the love of a lack of understanding, the love that is so embracing that a transcendent forgiveness takes over our heart. A love that leads us into an action because we are aware that an action without this vision is chaos, and chaos without an action is a fantasy. So we are here embracing the dynamic awareness of metta, the dynamic awareness of compassion, the dynamic awareness of peace, the dynamic awareness of love, not as a belief, but as a practice and an insight. That we will be the ones that will not really write about history. We will be the individuals that will become the history makers by the vibration that we emit. I feel it in my bones. I know that we're making a difference. This weekend, I appreciate the panelists. I'm humbled to be with these individuals who have already made a mighty difference on the planet in their respective offerings, and I give thanks for being here. Peace and blessings to all of you.
Our sincere gratitude to Reverend Benfit for that insightful and powerful words. Let there be a change of scene. It is time for a ballet on Metta by the Center for Performing Arts titled Metta Fusion, a collaborative production with and by young artists from the South and the North. Distinguished speakers, we kindly invite you to join us back again in the audience so that you can enjoy this beautiful piece of work by our young artists. Thank you.
We don't. There's no video. I don't know why. They cut it off from the. They are not sending their sound, but they are sending.
Our sincere gratitude to all the young artists from the Center for Performing Arts for that wonderful performance. Next, we have a presentation by one of the most distinguished personalities in the field of world scientific research being carried out in the area of meditation, compassion, and altruism. Dr. James Doty is a clinical professor of neurosurgery and the founder and director of the Center for Compassion and Altruism Research and Education at the Stanford University. Dr. Doty, yours is the stage to enlighten us on your research on the science of meditation.
Thank you again. It is a paradox that so many people from the East wish to go to the West, where we have an epidemic of loneliness, isolation, and depression. Yet, it is the traditions of the East that offer us some of the greatest wisdom and insights. My colleagues and I have been interested in what it is about meditation, about mindfulness, about metta that has been so transformative in so many people's lives. As a scientist, while I honor and respect religious tradition, I am also interested in cause and effect and quantitative evidence. As each of us appreciates, we can have bias towards that which we wish to be true. But what we have learned is that, in fact, what many of us already intuitively know, which is that compassion and kindness are our default mode, and that is why essentially every religion throughout the world is based on the concept of compassion, caring for those who are suffering. Many people quote Darwin, the father of evolution, as saying that it is survival of the fittest. But that is not, in fact, what Darwin said. That was a misrepresentation of what, in fact, he said by Herbert Vincent, who was interested in economic motive. What Charles Darwin actually said was, in fact, it is kindness and sympathy which is what allows a species to survive. In the short term, ruthlessness may offer benefit, but it has now been scientifically proven through a variety of studies in the animal kingdom that, in fact, it is cooperation and caring that allows a species to survive for the long term. It is interesting that when we look at the evolution of our species, and our species is that which has something called theory of mind, the ability to recognize that others have thoughts independent of us, the ability to have what we call abstract thinking, to conceptualize events before they occur, the ability to have complex language, required our species to have a decrease in litter size, a prolonged gestational period, and the absolute requirement that the mother care for the child for 10 to 15 years after the child is born, or the child will not survive. As a result, we have incredibly strong genetic attributes that connect us to our offspring. Because otherwise, there would be no reason for the mother to care for that child because of the cost. As we evolved from the nuclear family to the hunter-gatherers, which until 8,000 to 10,000 years ago was our primary mode of survival, again, these attributes of caring, kindness, recognizing the suffering of another were what allowed those groups to survive in a harsh, difficult environment. It is our default mode to care for others. That is what evolution has prepared us for. It is when we function at our best. And in fact, it results in extraordinary physiologic functioning such that it increases our survival ultimately. Unfortunately, though, the challenge is that evolution is not perfect. And as a result, we also have holdovers that limit or interfere with our default mode. And those holdovers are what we call our reptilian brain, that part of us which is associated with the flight or fight response, as well as another component of this, which is a desire for tribalism. As a result, when we are manipulated by fear, when we are anxious, what happens to us? First of all, what we call our executive control diminishes. Our blood pressure goes up. We do not think clearly, and we withdraw. And we withdraw towards those who we feel are like us, think like us, look like us, or act like us. Yet, those types of behaviors are what separate us, and I submit to you, will ultimately destroy our species. But the wonderful thing is that we have research, we have evidence that we can change this paradigm. My colleagues and I have been working to create techniques that in fact allow us to return to that default mode, to allow us to open our heart, and to allow us to decrease tribalism and in fact recognize the other as yourself. I said earlier that science and technology, while wonderful, having contributed to saving hundreds of thousands of millions of lives, are ultimately not what is going to allow our species to survive. Science and technology will not soothe a child in pain. Science and technology will not hold the hand of someone who is dying. While science and technology do offer this incredible benefit, it can also take us to that deep, dark valley, which will ultimately lead to our destruction. It can also take us to the height of our potential, but I submit to you that it can only do so unless we embrace compassion, if we decrease our fear of others, and do not look at those who are like us, who think like us, who dress like us, who act like us, as our only brother and sister, but to look out on the world and see that every person who is there in front of you is in fact your brother and sister. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Goli. That was an absolute privilege. The founder of the Metta Convention, Venerable Mahinder, I most respectfully invite you now to deliver the Dhamma talk on awakening with Metta to this distinguished audience and conduct a few minutes of meditation to renew the energy of Metta within all of us.
Let us meditate for a few minutes. If you wish to adjust your body to an upright and relaxed position, keep your head upright and just tuck in your chin a little. You may choose to close or half close your eyes. Bring your attention within. Observe the calm, the quietness within. Remain in this state of calm and quietness for a few moments, with clear sense of awareness that whatever phenomena that arises, the sounds that you hear, feeling, sensation that arises, you have clear awareness of them. Your mind is not disturbed, not distracted. In this state of calm and quietness, you will cultivate Metta, loving kindness, wishing yourselves to be well and happy. As you wish yourselves well and happy, feel a sense of well-being. And keep a smile in your hearts. Be free from anger, free from enmity, from hatred and grudges. Free from sufferings, from fear, from worries, from anxieties. And just dwell in calm and peace. Just as you wish to be well and happy, calm and peaceful, you will spread out loving kindness all around you. Feel the calm, the quietness within, radiating above, below, and all around you. Fill this whole hall with your aura of calm and peace. And the good wish in your hearts that all who are present be well and happy. Going beyond the confines of this hall, the whole building, and all the surrounding areas covering the whole premises of Myanmar siege. And beyond its premises, to all the surroundings, all the neighborhood, the whole city of Colombo, reaching out to the whole island of Sri Lanka. And beyond this island, to all the neighboring countries, all the neighboring islands, covering the whole world. And all the realms of existence, known or unknown to us, seen or unseen. That may all beings be well and happy. May they be free from harm, free from dangers. May they dwell in peace and harmony. That may all beings be well and happy. Fill your hearts with pure love and compassion, and cherish the good wish that all suffering beings be free from suffering. Those in sorrow be free from sorrow. Those in fear and dangers, may they be free from fear and dangers. That may all beings be well and happy. All beings be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. If there is one thing that all sentient beings wish, it is the wish to be well, it's the wish to be happy. We wish to be well and happy. People, our family members, our neighbors, our pets, dogs, cats, mosquitoes, cockroaches, all sentient beings wish to be well. How can we really arouse, how can we really open our hearts to all the sentient beings? It is only by Metta, loving kindness, as a foundation to remove the clouds, all the defiling tendencies that obscures our mind, that we are not able to see the reality of our existence. What do I mean by this? You all have this experience when you are angry, between husband and wife, between parents and children, when you get angry. You totally forget all the goodness of one another. Yeah? That's what happens. When we have anger, hatred, and grudges, all the goodness, all the wholesome qualities are blocked. So we cannot see things as they are. Because we cannot see things as they are, we only see things as what they appear to be. That's what delusion, ignorance, we say avijja. Avijja, in English we say, we use the word ignorance, but it is not the ignorance of anything and everything under the sun. It's the ignorance of certain fundamental truths of life. Basically, the truth of the self. Look at me. What do you see? If I put my hands up, you can see my hand. Is it solid? You say this hand is made of skin, flesh, and bones. But if you keep on analyzing this, it is nothing but atoms. And you know what scientists have discovered? That each atom is 99.9999 up to 8 decimal point empty. In other words, this whole body of mind, which is made up of atoms, it is 99.999% empty. 2,500 years ago, the Buddha, in the laboratory of his enlightened mind, he said, with regards to this body, arupa, penopamam, Buddha used this word. This body, this form, is like a foam, like foam. The foam that gives shape and form. And Buddha goes on to say our feelings are just like bubbles. There is no form in our feelings. What the Buddha tried to say, what we need to realize from the Dharma is this: the emptiness of this being. What all this great spiritual traditions on earth tries to do is to transcend this idea of I, my, me, and mine. The Buddha said, Buddha mati dhanam mati iti balo vihanati atahi atano nati kuto buddha kuto dhanam. Buddha mati, I have son, this is my son, this is my child. Dhanam mati, this is my wealth. Buddha said, iti balo vihanyati. It is a fool who thinks in this manner, only to come to grief. Attahi attano nati kuto buddha kuto dhanam. This self I cannot call my own. What more? My child, my wealth. It is because of deep ignorance, delusion in our minds. That is why we cannot think, we cannot see through, we cannot penetrate through the reality of things. That is why we only look forward to short-term benefits. We acquire wealth by hook or by crook. That is why you see the rampantness of corruption, bribery. All these things just to satisfy well-being of oneself, but at the expense of what? At the expense of long-term suffering for others. All human suffering lies in ignorance of this self, this I and mine. Ahamkara mamankara. Why do we need to be awakened with metta? It is only through our heart of love and compassion that we can see and feel the suffering that we are going through ourselves. and the suffering that goes outside, the sufferings of others. When we develop metta, metta will naturally arouse the heart of compassion, the thought that suffering beings be free from suffering. We wish to help others when people are suffering. But we all know you want to help one another, your own children, your own grandchildren, your own parents, grandparents, and you find how difficult it is. If you really have this heart of compassion, you will move one step further. You will seek, you will develop your mind, you will see the need to develop yourselves further. And that is how the cultivation of metta goes on to develop mindfulness. Mindfulness on the body, mindfulness on feelings, mindfulness on the mind, mindfulness on dharma. It is these four foundations of mindfulness that will lead us to have the purity of mind, the clarity to see things as they really are. And when we are able to see things as they really are, we will see the emptiness of this being. This is how we transcend, and that is how real love, the real, pure, unconditional love can only come through the emptiness of oneself. And that is how all sacred traditions teaches us to bow, to pray, all these things at body, speech, and mind. It's actually to reduce the ego, that self, I am I. And eventually to develop the wisdom, the insight, to see the emptiness of all sentient beings, emptiness of the self. Emptiness is not nothingness. We can see that everything actually depends. There is nothing that arises by itself. No one has come to this earth just by himself. There are causes and conditions. When you remove the causes and conditions, when we remove the causes and conditions that support our life, we die. We remove the support, the causes and conditions that allow this microphone to function. This microphone will not function. Causes and conditions, and that is what we see, the emptiness of things. Nothing arises independently, but arises co-independent. That means that is why we need to see the interdependence of all sentient beings. Why we should cultivate metta, loving kindness, the wish for all sentient beings to be well and happy. When we really wish, when we get into the state that all sentient beings be well and happy, all sentient beings be well and happy, we forget ourselves. We transcend, we get into another state of mind, to a different frequency. This is what we would like to have, the frequency of love. And we would like to connect. When we all practice metta, as all of you, if each and every one of you can go back with this idea of metta, loving kindness, and start practicing it in your own way. And we ask you all to be with us, to connect with us on the 5th of July at 9:45 p.m. local time. Colombo, 9:45 p.m. for half an hour. New York 9:45, London 9:45, Sydney 9:45. Please inform all your relatives and friends. This is what I appeal to you all just now, to create this network of human consciousness, of positive thoughts, of loving kindness, to harness the power of the collective consciousness that can help to bring about a change, a transformation of human consciousness. And that transformation is so important at this point of time. So, it is important, brothers and sisters in the Dharma. In the Dharma, in this cycle of birth and death, it's difficult to find somebody who has not been a brother, a mother, a father towards one another. That is why our love must extend to all. Thank you. Please, if you can take this little message of Metta and the little booklet that we have prepared for you all back home and start to cultivate these things and build small circles amongst your family and friends, I think this convention, this Metta convention would have served its purpose. Thank you very much.
Our sincere gratitude to Bhante Mahendan for those compassionate words. With that energy within our hearts and minds, let us listen once again to the reverent voice of our maestro, Pandit W. Amrita.
The lyrics.
Thank you very much, Radhika. It was an absolute privilege having you with us tonight. And for those of you who didn't know, the lyrics of that beautiful song we just sang was actually composed by our own Dr. K.R. To bring this enchanting and inspiring evening to a close, I cordially invite Mr. Saman Algada, the Executive Director of the Sarvodaya Shramadana Movement, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Someone's taking off William Mama's role. He's an ED.
The most venerable Mahasangha, all the other religious dignitaries present here today, Honorable Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, Mr. D.M. Jayaratne, Honorable Ministers, Honorable Members of Parliament, Founder President of Sarvodaya Movement, Dr. A.T. Aryaratne and Mrs. Aryaratne, all Sri Lankan and international speakers, distinguished guests, invitees, and ladies and gentlemen. In this beautiful evening, bearing a heart full of metta, on behalf of the Sarvodaya Movement, I wish to express our gratitude to every person who made this event in ceremony a remarkable success. First and foremost, I would like to extend our deepest gratitude to the Honorable Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, Mr. D.M. Jayaratne, and the Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe, and all other party leaders and invitees for being with us today despite their busy schedules. It is my privilege to offer our most respectful gratitude to Venerable Bhante Mahinda Thera, whose concept and enthusiasm and interest was the energy behind Metta Around the World 2014. Certainly, we are indebted to you, Venerable Sir, for this amazing experience. My sincere thanks also go to Dr. A.P. Aryaratne, the founder president of Sarvodaya movement, who has devoted his life to serve millions around the world with the unique Sarvodaya philosophy. And also Mrs. Aryaratne for her support and encouragement toward the success of the Metta Convention, and both their tireless efforts taken continuously to bring Metta into practice among us all. We greatly appreciate with gratitude the presence of all the volunteer speakers and moderators of the Metta Convention. With us here today, offering their valuable contribution to our effort to make the Metta Convention a memorable experience for all of us. Venerable Bhante Vimalathira, Reverend Dr. Michael Beckett, Dr. James Doty, Dr. Vandana Shiva, Dr. Kiran Bedi, Dr. Sunita Krishnan, Mrs. Jasima Ismail, Dr. A.P. Aryaratne, Dr. Vinya Aryaratne have one and all willingly committed their time and will share their beautiful thoughts of wisdom with us in the next couple of days. I'm sure everyone would agree with me if I say that we were blessed here today to take pleasure in the performances that harmonize most pleasantly with the theme of the event. So most sincerely, I extend my gratitude to Pandit W.D. Amaradeva, Visarada Sunil Edirisinghe, Mr. Simon Malo, Ms. Shula Oliver, Mr. Harsha Makalanda, and the beautiful belly group. I would like to express my sincere special thanks to Father Shevri, the founder and executive director of the Center for Performing Arts, Jaffna, who most generously offered his assistance to this event. This entire convention is funded through Dana, voluntary offering of monetary resources, knowledge and time of thoughtful well-wishers of the event. A number of foreign and local organizations share the financial burden of the convention. I extend my most sincere gratitude to the Aloka Foundation Malaysia, Buddhist Missionary Society Malaysia, Bennett and Company, Aloka Community Incorporated Australia, Child Right Law International Guarantee Limited, LHPCN and Company, Lalanka Water Management Private Limited, the official hotel partner Barbarian Greek Hotel, official travel partner Grand Vacations, exclusive media sponsor Associated Newspapers, Mr. Lakshman Bandaranayak and LBR LBO team, Vishalekha Publishers, HLN Magazine, Mount Lavinia Hotel, and all other well-wishers who wholeheartedly contributed with donation and cash and time. We definitely cannot organize an important event like this if it was not for the support of a number of government ministries, departments and officials who dispense their duties with warmth and considerations. A special thanks due to the President of Peace, Prime Minister's Office, Department of Inauguration and Immigration, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Defense, the Ministry of Buddha Sasana and Religious Affairs, and the administration of the Bandaranayak Memorial International Conference Hall. My special thanks go to all local and international participants of the Metta Convention for their faith and enthusiasm
the families of all the volunteers of the Metta Convention for their understanding and patience, and the volunteers of the Metta Convention themselves who work and is still continuing to work tirelessly to make this event a success. My special appreciations extended to the professionals who shared their expertise. Mr. Arjuna Krishnaratna for all the beautiful artwork and representations, Mr. Jananta Marasingha for his expert and professional technical assistance throughout the event, and Mrs. Nishali Malagoda for her boundless commitment to make the Metta Convention a success. The Metta Around the World organization and its well-wishers have been continuously supporting the Metta Convention since its inception. My deepest gratitude goes out to them for their support from the day one. Last but not least, I need to offer my thanks to the extended family of Sarvodaya brothers and sisters around the Sri Lanka and around the world who helped the Metta Convention 2014 in numerous ways, especially under the overall guidance and leadership of Dr. Charika Marasingha, for her commitment and overall guidance given to all of us in making the Metta Convention a success. This would not have been possible without her leadership. So thank you all. Wish you all a very good night. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alvida. Before we bring down the curtains, let me once again remind you that the Metta Convention will take place tomorrow and the day after on the 28th and 29th June at the Sarvodaya Institute of Higher Learning in Bandaragama, only for the registered participants of the convention. If you would still like to register and be a part of what is certainly going to be one of the most inspiring and memorable weekends, please speak to the welcome desk outside. We still have a very limited number of seats available. However, if you are unable to make it to the convention, make sure that you visit our website www.mettaconvention.org to catch the live webcast of the whole event throughout 28th and 29th June. Also to remind you that the Metta Convention will be joining hands with the organizers of the Pichamal Puja in Anuradhapura on Saturday, the 5th July. We have Metta groups joining us from around the world in a global Metta meditation on the 5th July at 9:45 p.m. to 10:15 p.m. local time in every country, leading into a 24-hour Metta meditation spanning across the globe. There will be a live webcast of this half an hour. So please join us from wherever you are on the 5th of July from 9:45 p.m. to 10:15 p.m. local time by sitting down for a Metta meditation and wishing for all beings to be well and happy. Thank you once again for being a part of the inauguration ceremony of the 2nd International Metta Convention. Let us all stand for the Sri Lankan National Anthem to mark the finale of this wonderful evening. Thank you everybody once again. And please join us for a cup of tea outside in the lobby area.
Yes, I'm shooting a video. Sanchi.